Hey everyone, this is my 5-minute tutorial for getting started playing Warhammer 40k on Tabletop Simulator. We've recently been running an online tournament in the Fireside Discord where you can become a member of our channel, playing a great bunch of players, and a couple of people were first timers, so I was able to help them out through that. And as you can see, I've got close to 3,500 hours on Tabletop Simulator. It's how I play the majority of my games. So let's get started into it. This will be super simple. It'll show you all the tips and tricks to get models imported, maps, and etc. So why don't we click play. There we go. So Steam is the best way to play this. It's going to manage everything for you. So just download and purchase through the Steam store the Tabletop Simulator app, and you'll be on your way. Now there's going to be a couple of resources which we're going to need before we get started right here. So first of all, you'll be able to play and load up Tabletop Simulator. What we're going to do is go over, and I'm going to alt-tab a little bit here, to a couple of resources which you will need to subscribe to. These will appear in your workshop button. First of all is this one. There'll be a link in the description. This is called the Hutber Basemap, okay? This is what will be your table, so to speak, right? If you're playing in real life, this is the table that you'll be playing on. It's got a lot of features which we'll go over, but it's going to offer a lot of quality of life things that will help you with, say, loading maps up, rolling dice, etc. The next thing you do is you're going to want to get this thing called Force Org. Okay, Force Organization is going to house all the models you could ever need for your armies, whether it's Black Templars, Imperial Guard, Eldari, or Tyranids. It's going to have all the models for them. Okay, so subscribe to both of these and log in through Steam, and they'll appear in your workshop tab. Let's say we've done that. Why don't we jump straight in here and have a look at some of the resources. So if you're playing just by yourself, then you can click single player. Otherwise, click multiplayer, and you can create a game. Say you want to play with a friend. We'll call it Fireside, and the password is 123. You'll then click Create Server. So you'll notice what we were saying before is that the resources we downloaded will appear in this Workshop tab. Now, I've just reinstalled my whole computer, so this is probably what it will look like for you as well. Now, what I'm going to search is HUTBER, and this is the Hutber map. Now, for this, we're just going to single click it here. Click and click Load. This will replace what is currently existing on our screen. Excellent. Now you'll notice there's a lot of things going on here, so don't worry. This is actually really simple once you get past your first kind of parts of playing. We're going to lock in blue player, and that'll put us as the blue player up here. If you have another friend join, they can lock in as the red player. Now, we're going to want to play a 1 versus 1 map, so we're going to click 1 versus 1. And let's say we want to play different terrain formats. You'll notice we've got a bunch of different things up here. We've got the WTC layouts here, and we've got Games Workshop Chapter Approved 2025. So, for the sake of argument, why don't we load up some Games Workshop maps here? You're going to click Show Maps. This red text appears. Don't generally worry about it unless it absolutely breaks something. Now, you'll notice there's a lot of different missions here. What I prefer to do is just hold and drag, and these are sort of cards that are stacked up on top of each other. You'll notice it's got GW Layout 1, GW Layout 4 when you hover over them as well. So we're going to click GW Layout 1, and we're just going to click Load Map. Here we go. Easy as that. This will get you the base terrain set to play. Excellent. Next up, this little thing right here is going to determine what objective or deployment zone we're going to play. So at the moment it's set on none. But you can scroll through this. So this is Hammer and Anvil, Dawn of War, Sweeping Engagement, and it's also got hidden supplies. So if you keep scrolling forward, you'll notice it's got the hidden supply parts right here. Excellent. So why don't we just load in Crucible of Battle, and that's how you would do things here. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit, and I'm going to load in an army, and as you can probably tell, I've got a lot of models here. I'll just load in some Black Templars, because I've been playing Black Templars a lot recently. And as you can imagine, you could put your models here, slide them across, move, and then draw lines. So this is fundamentally where I'm going to get you to. So don't worry, we've jumped forward a bit, but you're going to have your army in this roster ready to play it in just a second here. Okay, so how do you design your list and get it into Tabletop Simulator? I'm going to show you the easiest way of doing it now. Let's go and create a list. So this is called Newrecruit. You'll see it up here, Newrecruit.eu. This is a list building app, but it's got a crucial piece of functionality that's going to allow us to export our list in a way which TTS will love it. That'll give us a lot of functionality over those models here. Okay, so we're just going to load up. I've got some Black Templars lists here, so why don't I go Black Templars Gladius, Great, here we go. So this is a list I've been playing recently. Now I've got this list here, and in New Recruit you can explore this. It's got lots of great features. How do I get that into Tabletop Simulator? Okay, a couple of steps. This is the most laborious thing, but it's only 2 steps, so don't worry. We're going to click Export. And when we click Export, something should happen. There we go. And we're going to click Yellow Scribe. What this is going to do, it's going to copy a little code here to your clipboard. So it's already copied, so you don't have Control-C, Control-V. And then we're going to bring it into something else. So you get your Yellow Scribe code from New Recruit once you've done your list, and then you bring it into something called Force.org. Now, Force.org is what houses, it's a directory for all of the model files which we want to associate our list with. So we're playing Black Templars, so I want to load in Black Templars, for example. Load models, you can load in Astra Militarum, Adeptus Mechanicus, Necrons, Orcs, Tau Empire, anything you want here. Okay, lovely. Now, the most important thing for this is you're going to want to click this Launch Yellow Scribe button. Launch Yellow Scribe, this box will appear. You're then going to paste your code that we had generated. So remember, this is the code here from Yellow Scribe. We're going to copy and paste that into this, and you're going to see a little bit of magic happen, but some passing boxes are going to appear. As you can tell, there are a lot of models here, so it's like literally loading in the entire Space Marine collection. Okay, fantastic. So I've got Captain Grimaldus, so I want to have these models saved in a way which is going to make things a lot easier. Because you'll notice right now, these models don't have any hover over utilities, right? It just says Captain Grimaldus photo scanned by a Savage Boy. But there's something really cool that we can get going in a second. What we're going to do is once we've got this Yellow Scribe up, and your army will appear in a roster like this, for example. It's still loading. Your army will appear in a roster like this, and you can see that it's got everything broken down. Intercessor Sergeant has the Power Fist, Bolt Rifle, Bolt Pistol, right? So all of the weapon details are now going to be on our models when we hover over them once we do this part right here. And this is just as simple as point and click this next part. We're going to click on Chaplain Grimaldus, and we're going to click the model. So what you do is, again, you click the box until it goes purple, and then you click the model. For example, we click it, it goes purple, we click the corresponding model we want that to be represented as. Okay, right, we find the Castellan model, we click that, it goes purple, and then there we go. It goes green. Green means it's been associated with a model file, for example. Likewise, we can go with a Marshal, for example, and you can click that, and then go up over here, Black Templars Marshal, I've got it right here. For example, we want to bring in a Repulsor Executioner, or in this case, a Repulsor. And we've got a Repex here, and we've got a Repex here. Boom, boom. There we go. Now, what we've done is we've associated parts of our roster with models. Kind of highlights which one you've done. Then we're going to click Create Army. Boom. Already done. Now, a couple of advantages what this has done. Remember when we said this model here didn't have much hover over it? Look at this one right now. The Repulsor Executioner, when you hover over it, will have everything associated on it. Then there's a couple of cool modular scripting parts to it, which are really good. For example, when you do this on your keyboard, try hovering over the model and clicking 1. This should bring up a tooltip, but my hotkeys aren't done. Of course, scripting. Right. If you don't have a numpad, you want to script this to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So now when I click this, you can see it brings up the entire data sheet for me, and I can see the transport rule, inception strike, etc. But there are a lot of more cooler features here as well. Say we've got this Chaplain Grimaldus, now the one that we've generated, and you'll notice the ones that are generated will have like the HP and stuff like that, the wounds remaining. You can click 4 on your numpad, and this is going to create circles around them. So you want a 9-inch deep strike deny, you just go like this, and it'll be like that. Then if you click 2, the wound count will go down, and if you click 3, the wound count will go up, and if you click 5, it will decrease the circle. Awesome, so that's a little couple of tips and tricks there. So, as you can imagine, I've taken this whole roster here, and I've simply just converted and found all my models, say Sword Brethren, right? Boom, done, and I've generated an army with them. Now, once you've generated an army, here's what you want to do. Now, you'll notice I'm flicking these models around here really quickly. There's a couple of other small tips and tricks I'll get to later, but what you want to do is select everything, right click, save object, and TTS video is what I'm going to call this, and then click save. Now what this is going to do is it's going to save this in your objects folder. Objects, TTS, video. Here we go. Click once and it will spawn it onto the table. Okay, so let's get back to the game. Now we want to search Hutber, click load. This will load the table back in. And we're on blue player at the moment. We want to play 1 versus 1. We're going to load up a UKTC map, for example. Load map, and we know this is a Crucible of Battle map. We're then going to click across here until we hit Crucible of Battle. Boom, done. And then, as you can see, I've got a lot of different objects because I've been playing 3,500 hours, more or less. And I can bring in anything I want here. So you can save lots of different lists. What you can do is you can move your models by doing this 1, 2, 3, 4 thing. So if you hover, if you get, say, 10 assault intercessors, you click 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll order them like this. Another thing you can do is if you go to the side of this particular map, you can highlight these models and click 2-inch gap, and it will put a 2-inch gap there, 9-inch bubble, and it will put a 9-inch bubble. So if you wanted to screen your backfield, 2-inch gap, 9-inch bubble, and you can see that's a really powerful resource to speed up your game. Okay, excellent. Now, let's say you've got an opponent and we want to start the game. Okay, that's the next thing you're going to want to do. What we want to do is go, if we're playing tactical probably, go over these 2 cards here and hover over them and click F and F. That'll flip them, then click lock in secondaries, and your secondaries will be locked in over here, for example. Next, we're going to click, because I've only got 1 player, I'm going to do something special, but normally if you left click start game, it'll work. I'm going to right click to force it to start. Once I lock in the secondaries for this person. Okay, so this is kind of the score sheet, right? When you're going to be scoring the game, this is how it'll work. Now you've got your secondary missions here. If you hover over this and click R, it'll shuffle them. It's common courtesy. If you click left on draw, it'll draw them for you, bring it down and cleanse. It'll also put them over here so you can see them as you're playing. Bring it down and cleanse. Right, if you cannot score them on the first turn, you can click Recycle. It'll draw you a new card. Or if you want to discard it to redraw another secondary, you can click Discard, and then Draw. It'll draw you another secondary. Easy peasy. Challenger cards are up here. The Prior Nexus deployments are here, and the primary missions are also up here. There are also functionalities to generate a random map, which can be fun. Okay, next up here, we've got another quality of life thing. Let's say you want to score Engage in all fronts. You can click the Table Quarter button. That will show you exactly where the table quarters are. Common one is deployment zone. Just left click here. It'll show you the deployment zone after the game has started. Another one, strategic reserve, show you the strat reserve positions that can come in. 9-inch zone. This was for all contain, I suppose. And area denial as well. Excellent. So that's on this part. A couple of nice quality of life features. Now let's go over to the dice roller. You're going to be doing a lot of dice rolling. Okay, so the easiest way to do this is just to simply click 5 and then drag, like in a square, rectangle, drag over this box here and go like that. This is, if you're on a desktop, this is really fast, right? You can just go like this, boom. Or you can click the roll all dice, for example. You can do that as well. So let's say I want to shoot with my Repulse Executioner, the 2 lasers, I will click 2, and then usually I'll just click 2, roll all dice. Right? You can also click a reroll on these particular buttons, should you please. So there's a couple of different functionalities. If you need to roll 80 dice, you can see 25, 25, 25, and 5. Roll all, and let's say you've got rerolls to hit. There you go. It can be quite simple and very fast. Another couple of things you can do. If you've got a sustain gun, so let's say I've got a gun with 5 shots, I rolled a 6, I can click sustained hits. That will give you an additional 1 corresponding to the number of 6s you've rolled. In addition to that, let's say your opponent has a lot of damage coming in, and you've got 2 wound models with Feel No Pains. Let's say you've got a total of 16 damage to take across damage 1, and you've got models with 2 wounds, or let's say they've got lots of 2 damage models each, right? 9 lots of damage 2. You can click Roll in 2s quite easily. So if you had a 5 up Feel No Pain, you could see if you rolled any of these to roll a double 5. Or you can click ordered roll. So if you and your opponent are they know each other very well, you can click ordered roll here. That'll help you determine how you would like to order it, for example, right? If you've got a mixed squad, instead of going, okay, on this guy, on this guy, on this guy, you can just click ordered roll. Okay, so that should be pretty simple. No one really clicks, by the way, through these phases. All you do is right click, and that will pass the turn over to your opponent. You'll notice that there's a command point tracker here that will automatically increment when you right click this over to your opponent. Or if you left click through it to your opponent's next command phase, you can increment and decrement these with the pluses and minuses as well. So that should be everything you need to get started. If you hold tab, you can draw a straight line, right? That can be handy. So if you pick up a model and then you hold tab, it'll show you how far you can move, right? Moving 10 inches. Then you can see where the shadow is, and you can hold tab and draw a straight line. Perfect. Or you can go up to here in the draw feature, click line, and you can establish where lines of sight are or whatever you want. So if I wanted to say, be able to shoot behind this line, I'm going to click this objective and click I believe it's, 7 on that one to make it small. And if your opponent wanted to hide behind this angle and not be shot, then they could draw a line when they were moving their models, for example. Or if you want to just simply decide where the lines of sight are on a board, you can say, put this one right here, draw a line through here, perfect, and then maybe draw a line from here to here, and you can see the axis of where you can and cannot be shot. Or, for example, if you're deploying in here, you can draw a line through here, for example. When I ping like this, all I'm doing is pressing tab as well. Okay, guys, that should be more than enough to get you started. Hopefully this has been a really helpful guide. I will put a link to the resources in the description, but I would highly recommend jumping on Newrecruit, making a list, importing that with ForceOrg and Yellow Scribe to get the models, then using the Hutber Basemap, spawn your army in, and get started. There are a couple of great communities if you're looking for people to play with. The Tryhard Discord is a big one in Europe and UK. And the 40K Fireside network is obviously, we've got a Discord for our members, which we have active games and TTS tournaments in as well. But if you're in whatever country you are, your national WTC team will probably have a Discord where games also get played. Okay guys, see you later. Have a good one.